What is up, Zolar? Thank you for coming to me for your replay. I'm happy to do it, and it's cool to see that your very first game on the ladder is the one that I'm going to be casting, so that's kind of exciting. I don't think I've ever done that before. First game after placement, so that's rather ambitious. Either way, I'm just going to be mostly talking about fundamentals right now. At the beginning of your build order, of course, you're just needing to continually make SCVs, as many as you can, and what your goal is to keep making SCVs, and then anytime you can squeeze out any other building, squeeze out that building. So like this supply depot could have gone down one supply later, like probably because you were typing, so not a real big deal, but the supply depot can come out at 10 supply. It came out at 9. So you can start one more SCV and then get the supply depot out, and things will feel a lot more fluid. Whenever you're doing your initial build order, it should feel very, very fluid. Like everything's just lining up very nicely. And if you want to see an example of a good Terran opener, I have a video that's a stock Terran opener that's close to what you're doing right now, or what you're going to do. It's just maybe refined a little bit more. I don't know what happens here. That's just plain weird. Somehow, I don't know, I guess you accidentally tapped escape or something, but whatever. Also, I just want to comment on the hotkeys real quick. I like seeing hotkeys like this, although using 0 seems a bit far out of the way, seeing as you're having to go 0S will be a common keystroke you'll be making. Seems a little out of the way, but hey, if it's what works for you, and if that's what feels comfortable to you, then I would not discourage you from doing that at all. So the gas is going down at a good time as well. This is perfect. Real quick, one thing is you never really want to queue units like this. You see you've got 2 SCVs just sitting here in that queue. That's 100 minerals that's lost, and it's not really doing anything. So if you had that 100 minerals, you'd have about 275 minerals, and that's easily enough to just throw down another barracks if you want to. So definitely try to cut out this amount of queuing if you can, especially in the early game. It becomes a little more forgivable in the late game, just because you have so many more things going on, basically. But anytime you can cut out this type of thing, try to do that as much as possible. But I am loving seeing the constant SCV production. Very, very good. Okay, so this is a point in the game. I'm going to pause it real quick. This is the point where you definitely want to be scouting to at least see what's going on. Okay, and all I would advise is just basically take an SCV and poke it up the ramp, see what's at the top of the ramp. I don't think you could see any of these structures. You would just see a bunker, so that wouldn't give you a lot of information, but you could just run your SCV away and then just park them like right here. That way you know that anytime that SCV is getting killed, that means your opponent's probably moving out to attack. Or you could leave them here, you know, just somewhere along here where the ground attack path is, so that you know if an attack is coming. The other point to make with all your structures at the beginning of the game is you always want to have them doing something. Always making a marine, or putting an add-on, or doing research of some kind. The efficient macro will be as soon as your building comes up, it's doing something for the rest of the game. So these barracks are not doing anything currently, so that's a little bit of an issue to fix. Also, this bunker placement, I think it would be better off somewhere like right here, not necessarily super close to the ramp right there, but back it off a little bit, because I'm going to pause it real quick. If your bunker is right here, any unit that's going to try to try to get past the bunker, they're going to have to take this really long path the entire time they're getting hit by the bunker, right? If it's right there. With a bunker like right here, if you don't have troops protecting this kind of area, it's pretty easy to just slip by and not actually take much damage from the bunker. So I would position that a little more towards the center of the ramp, kind of like this, although personally I would back it up a space or two. That's just what I prefer. So barracks is down. Here's another small problem in the build. You got the tech lab, and that's cool. It's fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. But now you're still continuing to produce Marines, and you're not like getting stim or anything with the tech lab. So this goes back to that philosophy of as soon as your building is up, you want it to be doing something useful. So don't get a tech lab until you want to get some marauders out or something like that. And then same thing for this engineering bay. The engineering bay is down, which allows you to build turrets if you want in a pinch, but for the most part it's not really doing anything at all right now. So really you can skip this engineering bay, and I wouldn't bother building an engineering bay for quite a bit longer than yours goes down early. But the command center going down this early is awesome. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I've already watched the game, watching kind of fast through, and that's the reason you win right there, is this command center. At 6 minutes into the game, or 6 minutes 50 seconds into the game, that's what won you the game in the long run. So that is awesome. I love it. I think this is a good attack for you. You're sticking close to your bunker, and he's just basically suiciding his Marines into you. Now, I think it could have been a little bit more of a problem if he had just decided to sneak up this way and run past. You only had about 3 Marines that weren't in the bunker, and that could have been a bit of an issue for you. And so, once again, going back to the macro, these are buildings not doing anything, and you have money. So, obviously got to fix that. Pretty much be watching your money, and if you're on one base and your money is getting above 400, that means you could have expanded. And expanding is always good. Well, I won't say always good. A safe expansion is always better than no expansion. So yeah. But overall you do a pretty good job of keeping your money low and constantly producing SCVs. This is great, great SCV saturation. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, cut that engineering bay out. Still hasn't done anything for you. I guess you're just now placing turrets, but I want to comment on these turrets real quick as well. Turrets are awesome. Turrets are really good. They do splash damage. Actually, do they do splash damage? I think they do. I'm not sure about that. I think it's a small splash, but they're great against light units. They're good against Mutalisks or Phoenixes or all kinds of stuff. But you really only want to have it there if it's serving a direct purpose. Okay. So I can go to your vision and see there's been no scouting going on, but at the same time, there needs to be a reason for these turrets to go up. Really, they're just going up quite haphazardly. You're just throwing a bunch of turrets up because you can, because you have the money for it. Whereas this is actually turning into being a lot of money. It might not look like a lot of money at first. There's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 minerals, and that's like several barracks. That's over one expansion. So that is a lot of cost when there's really actually no reason for it. If you have a reason to suspect that some kind of error is coming along, then I think that's fine. However, I would, turrets build really fast. How long do they take? They don't take long at all. 25 seconds. So that's like as much as a Marine. So you can throw up a turret really, really fast and just throw it up as a reaction to something rather than an anticipation of something that may come. So I wouldn't bother with these turrets. I would get a couple more barracks out and just pump more Marines and Marauders. Also, you are doing it right now, but getting this factory with Tech Lab up Actually, I'm gonna hold that thought. What I was gonna say is that siege tanks are really strong in the Terran vs Terran matchup. Actually, they're just strong overall, but especially in Terran vs Terran because they'll kill Marines in 2 shots, and which we're gonna see here. They can really destroy balls of Marines. So he's poking his head up a little bit. I think you're doing a good job of threatening him, but at the same time staying within your bunker range. Oh, that would be so nice if you got that tank. Oh, nice. Very nice. I like that a lot. Staying within this range, I think this is as good of an engagement as you could have asked for. The one thing to note is if you really were in a super panicked situation, I think pulling these SCVs down to repair these bunkers sooner would have been a good move, but you know, you held it off fine. Now the one thing, I am going to back up a little bit, probably like 30 seconds. Okay, so here we are. The battle is about to happen, and what I want to point out is what the production is doing while this battle is happening. And we're also going to take note of your resource numbers and see what is happening there. Okay, so I'm not even going to watch the battle. What's happening? Looking on the production tab, a turret is building. That's it. Battle is going on. Definitely winning the battle. Building a starport. And that seems to be it. That was really all the production that went on during that battle. And so it's really important to, even when the battle is going on, you know, it's this crazy intense situation, always be reverting back to macroing while you're microing. And all it takes is just getting used to, you know, you're going to hit your hotkey 4 and then you're going to go AAA, DDD, or whatever to build whatever units that you want. And it's not hard to do that in the middle of all this microing, because really the microing that was happening in this battle was not very intense. It was easily doable to just pop over to those hotkeys real quick. But yeah, so definitely that's definitely one of the bigger points I think I would take from this analysis is to, as soon as the battle's going on, your initial reaction is to just think about the battle, but you really have to think about what's going to happen after the battle. Because even if you win that battle, if your opponent was macroing while it was going on and you weren't, he's going to win the next battle. So you have to be thinking about what's happening next. Okay, so at this point he's got a siege tank out. Oh, and I do like that as soon as you saw that battle was over, you just started throwing your resources everywhere, getting upgrades, getting another starport, getting some siege tanks out. I think that's the perfect reaction to whenever you see that you have way too much money, is to just be like, oh, I gotta spend this somehow. So really good reaction going on there. And like I was talking about queuing up, I will totally forgive you in this circumstance to queue up all these SCVs, because it's really going to pay off later. You know. Alright, so let's watch this battle. There's going to be another battle in a minute here. And just look at real quick the siege tank damage. 35 damage to light units, or to all units, and 50 to armored. And Marines have 45 health. So, not very hard to see that siege tanks will absolutely destroy Marines. Marauders do a lot better, and Marauders have plus damage to armored, so I think Marauders are nice to have with your siege tank army. The only disadvantage is that Marauders also cost some gas, so lol, that's funny. But yeah, the Marauders also cost gas, so that kind of cuts into your siege tank numbers. And look at how low that money is. Good. I like it. Okay, so he's got you into a contain, basically, where he's right at your ramp, and you pretty much can't move out. We're going to see the consequences of trying to move out right here. 2 siege tanks. Every time they shoot, they're killing about half your Marines. And so that was definitely a bad engagement for you. So let's look back here. I'm going to rewind. Let's look at what we could have done instead. Well, first of all, you never want to engage in this position because siege tanks do splash damage, and your marines, if you're attacking down your ramp, they're all going to stand right here, perfectly in this little ball, so the siege tanks can get maximum splash damage. You know, if you were some other place where your marines could actually spread out, the tanks wouldn't do nearly as well, but you pretty much never want to be engaging another army while you're sitting here on this ramp like that, especially not siege tanks. So what other options do you have here? You want to break out of this contain, but you don't want to just straight up attack into those siege tanks. Well, you've got dropships. You've got medevacs. So you could load up some marines, you know, drop them down anywhere else. You could, just as a distraction, take 8 marines, fly around to his base, and then do a drop in his base. And then once he sees that, he'll probably pull these units back. The other option is to get more siege tanks out, and get a siege tank, and like you can see, we're looking at the range of his siege tanks right now. So they can reach all the way around here, but they don't have vision past here, so that's why they're not attacking any of these things. So if you could get siege tanks out and place them maybe here and here, they would be in range of their siege tanks, and if you had vision there, you would be in a great position. So if you're ever contained, I would focus on getting more of your own siege tanks, and then also getting the types of units that are going to break out of a contain and take the siege tank damage a little better, which is marauders for the most part. Or you could even try to do something silly, sneaky, like getting banshees out or something. In this particular case, it would have worked quite well because he's only got 1 orbital command. He's got no ravens or anything like that, and he is using his mules. He sees at only 40 energy, so a cloaked banshee would be really good right now. But you know, you definitely don't want to do that. We got down 1 of those siege tanks, but that's still definitely not worth it. And if you are going for the getting more marauders kind of style, put the marauders in the front to take a lot of the damage, and then target fire the siege tanks, and then let the marines do the rest of the work. So this is winning you the game. That orbital command you put up at the 6-minute mark. Looking at the income tab, and your income is a lot better than his. Quite a bit better than his. So definitely winning you the game right now. So he's got dropships, so he can spot now. So now we get to see him experiencing the exact same thing that you experienced, only in reverse. This time he's charging up the ramp, and you've got a small amount of units and a single siege tank that is going to rack up so many kills. So this attack kind of fails, and then he parks it right here in the middle of the ramp. And let's just watch the siege tank get kills. 8 kills. 9 kills. 10 kills. 11 kills. So yeah. Yeah. And this Marauder alone has 6 kills. So that was the exact same scenario in reverse. 1 siege tank versus units clumped up right here, plus a few more units scattered around just to soak up some damage, is a dead Terran player. Lost siege tank right there. You might already know this, but I'm going to say it anyway just in case. Siege tank actual range of the attack is further than their sight range. So they have 13 range for the attack, and that's this little box that you see going on here, the little circle. Their vision will only actually go out to about here or so. So the reason that whenever you scooted your siege tank up right here and he could shoot you and you couldn't shoot him is because he's got medevacs in the air that can see this siege tank. Your siege tank didn't have any air or anything spotting out there, otherwise it could have attacked back. And then this attack works out pretty well for you too. You kind of baited a lot of his units into your siege tank. Siege tank has 15 kills now. That siege tank is a captain. Way to go, captain. And he is about to run out of money. He's got just maybe 100 or so minerals in most of these patches, depending on where he sent his mules. So you're in real good position, and this orbital command is still winning you the game. This attack, I like what you're doing. You definitely have the right idea there, targeting the siege tanks. But another big error that I would say that I didn't mention earlier, but this is definitely one of the big errors, is not getting Stimpack. Stimpack is just unreal how good it is. Being able to excuse me. Not only the damage that the increased damage that it gives all your units, but the ability to run faster lets you, like in a scenario right here, I'm going to back up, it would let you, if you had Stimpack, you could run right here, get off some quick volleys on the siege tank, and then run away way faster than doing it without stim. The speed advantage of having stim is actually quite huge. Also, I want to point out one more thing that happens here. This is a small mistake, but an important mistake. Alright, so what you're doing right here is you're taking all these units and you're right-clicking on this siege tank to kill it. Now, when these units get down here to the bottom of the ramp, whichever unit is in range to kill that siege tank, he's going to stop right in his tracks and just start shooting the tank. And what we're going to see, and I'm actually going to slow this down, is a lot of these units are just kind of walking around in the back, not actually really doing anything, because they can't get in range of the siege tank. Now what you can do to stop that is right-click on the siege tank. As soon as you see some of your units to start actually attacking, move them forward, just a smidgen, move them like right there, and then let more of your units attack, and do this kind of scooting and shuffling thing to let all of your units attack. So these first units are attacking, the rest are just kind of running around trying to find a place to attack, and it takes them a little while to actually be in a place where they can engage. And then, while that attack was going on, there was some macro going on, so I like seeing that a lot. Although the money is high enough where if you see your money that high, it's time to go to panic mode and just start throwing down more barracks, throw down another expansion, get another engineering bay, get some more upgrades, throw down some turrets, or not some turrets, but some bunkers, or, you know, anything you can think of. Spending money is good. So these Vikings will be quite nice in your army, just to give them get a little air dominance so you can abuse that siege tank range. And he's going for a drop. Sneaky guy. So we're going to see what this does. I actually don't remember that from my first time watching the replay. So we shall see. Going to production, he's basically flat broke. He's got like maybe a couple hundred minerals left. That's it. Oh, it's going to kill that. Alright, so there you go. That turret almost paid for itself. Maybe it did. Probably did, actually. And then this is kind of a common technique where you go in with some kind of drop and then move the rest of your units into the front. Unfortunately for him, these bunkers, these upgraded bunkers, which is crazy because I almost never see that upgrade used, just totally destroyed him. So outclassed him in that regard for sure. And while he's sitting here trying to find some way to build up an army to win this game, where is this rally point going? My God. But while he's sitting there trying to squeeze out a little money, once again this 6.5 minute orbital command winning you the game. And really not a lot happens from here on out, so I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. Oh my God. It's brutal. You're sick, man. But yep, transferring the SCVs, get an orbital command set up. Why not? One thing I would say is during a time like this is definitely a lull in the combat. You know, the contain that he had here was broken. I would just move out. If you know his units aren't here anymore, I would move your units to right here. That way, if you want to take this expansion, you can. You don't want to be trapped up at the top of your ramp. That's really, you know, being on your defensive stance, where you want to rather have a defensive stance right here with more room to expand. And in fact, during this time, if you can guess that he doesn't have many units, say if you can like poke in with these banshees or something, do exactly what he was doing to you. Lay a siege tank like right here, place the rest of your armies somewhere around here, and just totally cut him off. He's opting not to expand on his own, but if you can place siege tanks in such a way that will prevent him from expanding, even if he wanted to, that's even better. Like right now, these banshees are clearly looking in. Oh, okay, here's an issue. This is a problem. You had an opportunity for what is called a timing attack. So a timing attack is whenever you have something important that's happening either in your base or in their base that will give you an advantage. You go in for an attack right then and you're in way better position than he is. Your cloak is almost done. You pumped out a couple banshees, 2 banshees, researched cloak, and then attacked about 10 seconds before the cloak finished. Not good at all. You know, if you had waited for this cloak to finish, he would have had to use scans, and from the looks of it, well, you know, you just could have definitely done way better by not attacking with these banshees yet. So just be aware of those types of things. And this holds true for cloak. It holds true for even just things like +1 weapons upgrades. By the way, that was awesome, targeting the siege tank, because the siege tank's really the thing that's gonna tear apart your army. So I think that was really, really, really good. But yeah, it holds true for anything. Any kind of upgrade, if you can wait for that upgrade to finish and then attack, that's a good time to attack. Okay, I'm gonna back up one more time. This will probably be the last time I back up. But this is another instance of that whole problem with the units, you know, not being able to shoot. Okay, so you attack, move up the ramp. These units right here can shoot. No one else can shoot. The rest are having to spread out around here to get shots off. And so ideally, you could just take your units and right-click about right here, and then you'd have all your units instantly firing on that bunker to kill it. Just keep in mind what I was saying earlier about having units on a ramp if there's a siege tank there. It's not good positioning. But in this case, it just doesn't matter. You've got way, way, way more units than him. So you're just going to roll right in and win. Anyway, congratulations on your first win, on your first game on the official ladder. Good game indeed. I'm just going to go over some of the high points of what I was talking about. You know, small efficiencies in your build order, like if you aren't going to use that tech lab quite yet, don't build a tech lab quite yet. Ooh, it's hard to say. If you're not going to use your engineering bay, don't build an engineering bay. If you're not going to use these turrets, don't build these turrets. And all those things, once combined, can lead to a lot of wins earlier in the game. This is a 23-minute game, which is a fairly long game, but those things that can happen early in the game can help you win much before the 23-minute mark. And then the biggest props to you ever for getting this orbital command up as fast as you did. It was entirely what won you the game. So congrats on your win. I hope you'll come back to me for more analysis. Keep playing on the ladder, and you'll keep moving up, and I'll be able to give you more and more high-level discussion on your play. So thanks for coming to me, and GG.